The 2018 masterpieces, Concours d'Elegance in Schlossdijk. We are in Germany, the North Rhine-Westphalia region, competing with the supercar class for modern 1980s, 1990s cars with the Brabus 6.5, and there are 6 cars competing in our class, and we'd like to showcase one of our competitors' really beautiful car, a one-of-one Isdera Commendatore 112i. So this car was built during the time when there was no supercar from Mercedes, especially in the 1980s, all the way to the mid-1990s, before the CLK GTR came out. And so an engineer from Germany thought that he would like to have a Mercedes that's a supercar, and so he built it himself using a M120 engine V12 out of an S600, the SL600, the W140s, and the R129s, integrated with a 6-speed manual transmission, a bespoke unit, and mounted into a steel frame covered with fiberglass paneling. We're going to look at the technical aspects further, but that would be very nice to do a video on this car since it's a one-of-one and no one has seen it on concourses before. So next we'll cover some of the technical and some of the interior aspects. So a highlight of the Isdera cars built in the 1980s, 1990s, something carried over from Mercedes-Benz supercars, 1950s, the 300 SL gullwing. That would be gullwing doors. Vertical opening gullwing doors, both driver and passenger sides. Interior of the Isdera Commendatore is, as you would expect from supercars of that era, there's not much going around. You have racing seats, an Alcantara, very small diameter Alcantara steering wheel from OMP. The dashboard instrument cluster you will recognize from Mercedes-Benz R129 SL models. Some parts of this car belong also sourced from Porsche cars, from the 928 and the 968 cars. Leather stitching on the dashboard and on the sides, the door panels, basic, well now basic sound system. Other than that, it is a very racing, it's basically a racing interior that the car has. Powertrain.
Hatte das Vergnügen, letzte Woche
112i.
mitfahren zu dürfen bei dem Nachbau von
This should be a familiar sight for anyone with an S-Class 600. This is the M120 V12 6-liter 408 horsepower from the W140 and the R129 S-Class and SL-Class. The early models, this is doesn't have the coils. It comes with a distributor. So this is the same engines from the 1991 to 1995 production, and these are a very old throttle valves as well. What they've done is a new intake system for the engine and the exhaust system. So you have bigger tubes for the manifolds and for the exhaust system, and sport catalytic converters, and basically it's just a catalytic converter and the rear muffler. It's a really quiet engine, so even when they started it up, it sounds like what a normal V8 would sound like. Transmission is from Roof. It's a modified transmission from a Porsche 928. The original transmission comes with 5-speed. This is modified to 6-speed. Suspension parts, the brakes are from the Porsche, the 928s in particular. Some other Porsche parts are the headlights from the 968, and you can also see some Mercedes-Benz parts, such as the radiators here, some of the clips, hoses, the cooling tanks, and everything that's related to the engine, basically. What I'm not sure is about the cooling system yet. but this engine produces a lot of heat, and this car would not survive in any of the Gulf states. That is sure. Manual, the same manual throttle linkage. You have a glass panel behind the behind the seats. You can look at the engine, and it's basically the structure, the frame, a steel frame with glass fiber paneling around it. So it doesn't have basic chassis. It's built around the frame, and the engine and transmission is all surrounded by a metal structure. Okay, a very interesting car, and a one-of-one Isdera Commendatore 112.